Hey, what's up, guys? It's WiseGuyVito here. You're gonna have to forgive me for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather, so if I sound a little bit weird, or if I stumble a little bit more than usual, that's just because I'm still trying to get over a cold or a head cold or something like that. Um, we're gonna go over primaries in Helldivers 2 against the Automatons. I do think that primaries overall, since kind of like the mid-patch halfway point, I think primaries overall for the Automaton side, I think there are a growing number of weapons that are good, but obviously there are some weapons that I feel that aren't really made for bots, and there are some weapons that I do think are made for bots, but they aren't where they should be. And today we'll kind of go over that in this video. So always like, share, and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. So before we start, let's go over the tiers. S tier will be for, you know, like those primaries that are just so good against the Automatons. It's almost kind of like a no-brain type of pick. Very effective against Devastators, mainly. But overall, it's just a solid weapon. You should definitely bring it on Automaton missions. A is above average. There might be one glaring issue with it. You know, whenever they, you know, make the second round of buffs, they buff these weapons and kind of like round them out more to give that more interesting playstyle to it. But overall, like, these weapons are still solid. They just have one glaring issue with them. B tier, it's an average weapon, plain Jane. Doesn't feel that unique, doesn't feel that special. But, you know, there's always going to be those type of, like, kind of feel average type of performance in every way. You know, maybe they do something to them in order to make them a little bit better, but for the most part, they're just average weapons. C tier is below average. Definitely needs to have some buffs to it. It may not even be necessarily a bot weapon, or maybe this weapon, and I'll go into detail about each one, that maybe it is a bot weapon, but it definitely is not where it should be. And of course, D tier is a dookie weapon. It's not good against automatons. Either it's not a bot weapon, period, end of story, or masochist if you want to bring in automatons, because automatons are kind of annoying to fight anyways, or the weapon is just so garbage. It is so bad. It is so ass. This is the ass tier, okay, for these weapons, that they need either a complete rework altogether or just some major buffs in order to make them better overall. So with the explanation of the tiers out of the way, let's get straight into the video. The Adjudicator, 100% is an A tier right now. I feel this weapon is very good. It has armor penetration, so right out of the gate, it's going to be better because of the armor penetration, that medium armor penetration to it. It's got a good damage to it. I would actually increase the damage probably like a little bit, like a tiny bit, against the automatons. But overall, I feel like this weapon is fantastic. Aim for their legs, particularly, because if you can break a Devastator leg quickly, it'll kill it outright. So in my opinion, like, if you're going to be using this weapon, aim for specific breakpoints, and because it has me armor pin to it, you should be able to do that. The Blitzer, I do think, is a B tier weapon. The reason why I think that is because it doesn't have that much range to it, right? It's not that it's not unique. It is definitely unique, and it does have stagger force. They just added that. They keep on buffing this thing, and it is a very good weapon, especially on the bug side of things. However, on bots, it's not really that great because, again, automatons are more ranged enemies than anything else, and trying to go up against a herd of heavy devastators and super high difficulty is very annoying. But the stagger is nice. That's why I'm putting it in B tier. Otherwise, it's not that good of a weapon in automatons. Breaker, the Noble Breaker is probably going to be B tier. To me, the Breaker still feels mid even after the buffs. It's more of a single target weapon than anything else, and I feel like it does do better on the bug side, but you can still kind of do work with this. You just got to aim for breakpoints. If you aim for breakpoints like their legs and stuff like that, it's good, but you still kind of run into the problem of range because these are ranged targets, and this thing really doesn't have that much stagger effect to it whenever you're fighting the automatons, in my opinion, whenever I was using it. But it is better than what it used to be. It is better than what it used to be, so I'll put it in B tier currently. The Cookout is S tier. It definitely is not on the top of S tier. I think there is a clear king, in my opinion, when it comes down to the automatons, and we'll get into that later. But it sets things on fire, and the fire cooks automatons actually pretty well now. Plus, the Cookout has really good stagger to force damage to it, So, and the range on it is actually very good as well. On the Cookout, you can be able to see a herd or a patrol of them, or even a bug, or even like a bot drop of them come in. You should be able to stagger most of them like no problem whatsoever. Great ammo economy as well. It's just an overall solid pick overall against the Automatons. Like I said, cooking and stagger, damage over time, like what's not to want in the primary against the Automatons, especially when it comes to the stagger damage. It's very, very good. The Camp Sniper is ridiculously good right now. This was already an S tier weapon because you can one-shot headshot devastators in the head. Not only can you one-shot headshot devastators in the head, but you can 2 to 3 tap Scout Striders in the crotch, and it will insta-kill them. It's very, very good. It's very, very good against those heavy Scout Striders. In my opinion, the heavy Scout Striders are kind of ridiculous already because of their missiles, and hopefully they tone down the missiles at some point for those annoying-ass bots. But overall, this weapon is very, very good. It's a very excellent ranged weapon as well. It can mostly take out things in one shot if you're hitting critical points, but it's very, very good overall as a primary against the Automatons, so definitely use it. It is definitely one of the better weapons in the game. The Defender, I do think is A tier. It's definitely like the better, like, I guess, Liberator, which is not a Liberator, it's a SMG, right? But bring this with the ballistic shield and you can just tap heads against Devastators. It does it very, very well. It's one-handed as well. That's why you can be able to use it with the ballistic shield. Definitely take it on Automaton missions. It's actually very, very fun to use. They buffed it here recently, up the damage to it. In my opinion, still the Defender is definitely like the better Liberator. And a lot of these Liberator choices, you can just take the Defender for, in my opinion. Like the Defender's like fantastic still. It's so very, very good. It's kind of boring because there's nothing really like unique to it, but if they were to kind of put something more unique to it, maybe add some attachments to it, like attachment options to it, which hopefully they do sometime in the future, then I think this gun will be in a very, very good spot. The Diligence, just the regular Diligence DMR scout rifle, I actually do think it's a very good weapon. It's more of a bug weapon in my opinion, but it does still do pretty well. You can 2-tap Devastators in their heads. It should be a 1-tap in my opinion. It being, light armor penetration and all, but it does very, very well against the smaller bots as well, because the smaller bots will be able to, or they can have the possibility of being in patrols, and it does take them out very, very quickly. Also has a fairly large max size to it as well, and the sights on it are very, very good on the Diligence as well. So overall, it's just a fine weapon. Once it has its damage buffed enough to where you can one-tap Devastator heads, then it would probably be like in a better spot. Actually, no, I think it can one-shot Devastators into the head. So yeah, so like it's overall just like a fantastic weapon. Just I've been using it here lately, and it feels fantastic. The Dominator is still going to be S tier. Stagger force, really good damage. What's there, and it's explosive damage. Really good on breakpoints. Just an overall, just a fantastic weapon. What's there to say about the Dominator? The only thing I will say about it that it's bad is that it's clunky, but with all that power and stagger force and everything else, like what's there not to like about it? Like it's a very, very good weapon overall. The Eruptor I still think is mid as hell. There is a way to one-shot Devastators with this, but you have to shoot them like underneath the feet, but it's very particular. My opinion, just bring back the orbital shrapnel from before. I still kind of want pre-patched, like Eruptor whenever it first came out, because I did not think it was that busted in my opinion. And the only thing that was really busted about it was because it had an ass load of ammo to it. But I don't know if they're thinking about maybe getting rid of like how ricochets work, because how ricochets work right now is kind of dumb in my opinion. But if they do remove the ricochet shit to the game, then I don't see why the Eruptor can't be better than what it is. And with that being said, there isn't a clear an Eruptor into this game, right? Or like there is a gun that does basically like the Eruptor's job but better, and that is the explosive crossbow. The explosive crossbow is the best weapon against automatons, Period. End of story. It can 2-tap Devastators, groups of Devastators, by the way. 2-tap groups of Devastators. Whenever they're kind of like close up on each other, it can 2-tap them. This is a one-handed weapon, so you can make a ballistic shield. It can 2-tap heavy scout striders in the crotch. This thing does everything. This thing does everything. It is the better eruptor. Like the regular eruptor as well can also blow up fabricators. This can also blow up fabricators. In my opinion, this can blow up fabricators easier. In my opinion, this is a silent weapon. The regular eruptor is not a silent weapon. Again, and also like the explosive crossbow as well also has a better ammo economy in my opinion compared to the eruptor. Just like everything about this weapon, it's versatile, it's powerful. Like, it is the best weapon against automatons. So if you want to have easy mode on automatons, bring the explosive crossbow. You won't regret it. The Incendiary Breaker is going to be Dookie tier. This is ass. Do not use this on bots. It is more of a bug weapon. This is more of a case of just like, it's just a bug weapon. I would not use this gun on automatons at all, even though it has like damage over time. Has no stagger force. If you're wanting something that has stagger force but DOT, just bring the Cookout, and then you'll be fine. The Liberator Carbine is probably C tier. I'm almost want to put it in D tier, and I may actually put it in D tier actually. I'll put it in D tier. Fuck that. The Liberator Carbine, the problem with it is that it has way too much recoil for what it is, and there's not really an identity to the weapon other than it's basically the Liberator, which is just with a faster rate of fire and more recoil. That's it. It needs a drum mag of some sort. It needs something to kind of like give it like the edge to it. But it's not really good against automatons anyways, because of that light armor penetration and because of that recoil. You need precision whenever you're fighting the automatons. This is not it. This is just a bullet hose, right? So if I were you, do not use this on automatons. You use this on bugs. But even then, it definitely still needs some buffs. Or some changes to the weapon in order to make it kind of like viable in the current meta. The explosive Liberator concussive I do think is A tier because of the concussive effects to it and the stagger force. It's invaluable. 60 drum mag, or like 60 round drum mag as well, so you can keep on firing and just CC everything that's in front of you, and does a very, very good job of that now. I'm very pleased with this weapon, and now it does have an identity as being a support weapon for your teammates. And that sometimes, like, support is very, very good, and just crowd control everything is very, very good. Like, forget power sometimes, guys. I understand that, like, people just want to kill things in front of them, but at times, or like how this game is currently balanced okay, is that if something kills, it usually has less ammo. If something has CC abilities to it, it probably has, like a decent amount of ammo to it. This one does, and so, its job is to CC, and I think it does it very, very well. The Liberator Penetrator is absolute dog shit. This weapon needs to be either removed from the game and be made into an attachment, or, just needs a complete rework. They buffed it already. They buffed it again, and it's still dookie. It is still bad. It is still ass. No one cares that it has minimum armor penetration. It has low damage. If you're wanting to bring a minimum armor penetration Liberator type into the game, just bring the Adjudicator. Adjudicator does more damage. It has less ammo to it, but that's fine. Just bring the Adjudicator because it does more damage overall. And if you're and if you guys are worried about like having a fast GTK, the Adjudicator is the way to go because that means more penetration to it. The regular Liberator is probably going to be in B tier. It's really not, there's nothing really special about this gun. They buffed it again, okay? In my opinion, I don't think they need to buff this weapon anymore. They just need to focus on the other ones, in my opinion, like the variants of the Liberator, in order to make those unique. But if it feels the same, in my opinion, than what it was before. But overall, it is a standard issue rifle, and it's not going to be anything cool or anything interesting. So until they maybe do something to it later on in the future, it's going to be just like the average play Jane type of gun in the game. The Plasma Punisher are going to be S tier. I do think that the explosive crossbow is the better option overall, and if you're going to bring the Plasma Punisher, why not just pick the explosive crossbow? But what the Plasma Punisher does have compared to the explosive crossbow is that the plasma punisher fires faster. It has more rounds in the magazine, or like whatever type of battery that you're throwing in there. It does very, very well when it comes down to CC and damage. And so, like, it's still an S tier choice in my opinion on bots. It's more of a bot weapon than a bug weapon in my opinion, but it is very, very good overall. The pummeler is probably A tier still. It CCs and kills. It just doesn't have a bigger mag to it. You know, if you're wanting a basically like a Liberator concussive that staggers, just use the pummeler and you'll be fine. You'll just have less ammo overall. The Punisher's probably going to be C tier, just simply because yes, it has stagger force, but slide armor penetration has no damage over time to it. It's kind of meh. It's more of a it's more of a bug weapon in my opinion, because it does very, very well against bugs with the stagger force and the damage as well. And there's more enemies that are more light armor penetrating on the bug side than there is on the bot side. So I'm putting in C tier currently. It doesn't really need any buffs to it necessarily against bots. I'm just saying this, but it's not that great, but there's probably some uses for it. Plus, you know, the range of it and everything else, it's not really that great against a bots, but overall, you know, I think it's, you know, a bug weapon than anything else. Purifier's absolute ass. Still needs a buff to it. Supposedly they're going to be making it like the Scorcher, and there's going to be a charging mechanic to it, to where you get a little more bigger shot to it, which now begs the question of what they're going to do about the Scorcher. But in its current state, the Purifier is completely dog shit until they buff it and make it more interesting. It's going to keep on remaining dog shit. But I like this weapon. I like it. I think it looks cool. But and I think it has a very interesting type of fire to it, which is a charge of fire to it. So maybe whenever they make that change to it, it'll be up here, maybe, who knows. But as it currently stands, it is a dog shit weapon. Do not use this weapon at all, even on bugs and bots, until they buff it or do something to it. The Scorcher, I do think, is probably an A tier. I think it's better whenever it comes down to pinpoint accuracy than like the Plasma Punisher and even like the explosive crossbow and stuff like that. The problem is as ammo. If I had more ammo to it, I'd probably put it in S tier, and it's just like a playstyle thing. You know, like do you want more CC control and more ammo and stuff like that? Bring the Punisher, right? If you want more pinpoint accuracy and not that much explosive and like CC, like type of stuff to it, then you just bring the Scorcher, right? But you know, overall, you know, like I think it's a fine weapon. You know, it still does work against the Automatons. The Scythe is probably going to be an A tier weapon, and the Sickle as well. But like we'll go over the Scythe real quick. The Scythe is very, very good. That it catches things on fire. You can headshot Devastators actually fairly quick with it. It effectively has limited ammo as well, so the ammo economy is very, very good on this thing. Just an overall, just a fantastic weapon now against the bots, and they recently upped the damage to it, I believe, and it feels really, really good to use against bots. So definitely use it against the bots. It feels very, very good to use. The Sickle is probably A tier as well. The shots vary more, but like it's not enough to really notice, and in my opinion, like it still feels very, very good to use. Fantastic ammo economy. It is light armor penetration. It doesn't burn things, but you're wanting to aim for headshots for the most part. But overall, like it feels very, very good to use. The Slugger is complete utter dog shit. Even though it probably is. No, it's dog shit. I'm giving this weapon dog shit. This gun should not be where it's at currently. I don't know why they nerfed it. The way they nerfed it and gave it more deviation within the slugs. It is a slug. You basically are shooting out, like a lead mass at something. You should have a little bit more accuracy than having deviation with, like with the slug. It's not even like a shotgun shell. There's no pattern with the slug. It's just slug. That's that's the answer. It's just you just slug it, right? Stagger force is okay on the weapon. Don't get me wrong, but this gun needs to have no deviation to it. It needs to be accurate as hell. It needs to be pinpoint accurate, in my opinion, in order for me to ever use this fucking thing ever. But right now, it is absolute horseshit. It is dog shit. Don't use this weapon on Automatons right now until they do something to it. The spray and pray, I also think it's not that great against the Automatons. It is way better on bugs, though. I almost want to say this is an S tier weapon on bugs because it crowd controls very, very well against bugs. It does not do good against Automatons, though. You can't stagger with this thing. It shoots birdshot, so birdshot is ass against the Automatons. You know, it's more of a bug weapon than it is on anything else. So do not use this on bots. Definitely use this on bugs. You know, it's just not that great. The Knight is probably going to be a B tier weapon for me. You know, it's basically a bullet hose, but in my opinion, it's a better bullet hose because you can kind of be like more accurate with it. It's very versatile. You can use it one-handed as well, so you can use a ballistic shoot with it. You know, like just aim for headshots and stuff like that, and like you'll be fine. The Tenderizer, it's probably an A tier. It definitely needs more ammo reserve. Once it has more ammo reserve, it'd be like an S tier weapon in my opinion. But you know, I want to like this weapon more. The problem is that it definitely needs more ammo reserve. It feels fantastic to shoot, has good damage to it, but it's light armor penetration and it has no, well, and it's, you know, like I just feel like it runs out of ammo just way too quickly. And of course, you got the Torture. The Torture is dog shit against the Automatons. Unless you're a masochist or just trying to be funny, then definitely use this weapon against the Automatons. But for the most part, this is not a weapon you should be using on Automatons at all. It has no range to it against more ranged enemies in the game. And yeah, you know, S tier weapon against bugs, but on Automatons, it is in Dookie tier. Do not use this weapon. So that is my tier list. You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Where I'm right, where I'm wrong, where I'm absolutely insane, where I'm God King correct. You just let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys next time. Be safe, and hopefully I get better. Have a good one. Bye-bye.